This video is about how I like to modify carton cutters, also known as box cutters, pop knives, or oxes. When you work with these, be sure to know it's razor sharp. So these are used for utility and also for last-ditch self-defense. They're actually pretty devastating if you use them right. So I just get the regular ones, even though you can obtain these in some pretty fancy variations. The way they come here is just very slick, an unpainted straight metal. So the first thing I do is take out the center and start to wear down that very slick outer with just using some grip tape or sandpaper. Doing this alone gives a little bit better grip and is going to make the spray paint process a lot easier. Even though I'm not going to paint the frames, I am going to bend them, so it's time to put the blades in a safe location. The one that I use being this little Altoids Smalls can, that you can see fits them pretty perfectly. And the way it's retaining them is by the neo magnets, the rare earth magnets that I have super glued into the tin. I use this same setup for sewing kits and other small kits as well. So with those in there, not only can it be stored for now, this is also how I keep the extra ones if I am thinking that I'm going to need one some other time. Next is cutting out pieces of grip tape to help give some traction on the blades. Now, not only is this good for just general traction, it's also going to help orient the blade when you cannot see it, if you're pulling it from a pocket or from another location. Without having to even look, as long as you've set the blades up correctly, you'll be able to know which side is which. This here is my trainer, which I never put a blade in because I use it just for practice. But you can see on one side it's just colored, and on the other side I have a little piece of Velcro for my thumb. So whether it's upside down, downside up, I'm always going to know that the blade is coming out of that side. Okay, on bending the frames, this is really to make it a little harder to push out to give it some resistance. When these come and they're straight, they're very smooth and very, very swift. So that can be nice if you're working with them, but I don't like it so much for, especially when it's in my pocket. I want it to have a little more resistance. So just a slight bend. This doesn't affect where the blade goes in at all. It can still go in there just fine. And then that much is what's going to give more resistance to help stop the blade from coming out unless you really want it to. Like, you have to actually give it a good push. The secondary thing that's going to help this is the paint itself. The paint will also slow this process down just slightly, so you have to be very sure that you want this knife out in order to deploy it. Then the spray painting. Because I have to use this parking lot outside my apartments and I was kind of in a hurry this day, I honestly didn't give it as much time as I would have otherwise to actually set, and you'll see in the end results that this flipping was happening much too soon. But again, this is not for anything else other than for me, quick pocket carries around, maybe to give to a friend, and definitely to take the blades out and practice with. So I'm not too worried about them being very aesthetically perfect, more just that the paint is serving what I need it to, and that is more traction, less light reflection, and just something a little bit cooler than just straight metal. And the finished products. You can see that because of the rushed paint job, there are some places where the paint didn't cover fully. That would just take a little more time on each side and actually give it the time to set. However, because these are working knives, they're practice knives, they're going to be in pockets and in backpacks, I'm not too worried about it. Now, if I was trying to make these to give to other people as gifts or something, then I would have taken more time, left myself more time to have them dry. What is nice is that it's very clear when there's a blade in there. So for me particularly, I like that because when I'm practicing with these for self-defense applications, I really want to make sure visually, if I can, that there's no blade in there anymore. And that's pretty much it. They're all very basic modifications, but what's nice about them is that they each have a purpose, and it's a purpose that works well for me. Okay, pop quiz. Where is my pop knife? Where is it at? So this is one of my favorite places to keep it, is right there behind my hat. It's actually really obvious if somebody knows to look for it, but especially if you're not looking, it's not going to be super visible. Now in this case, the grip tape itself is helping hold it in the hat. Velcro would be even better. However, in this set, I just did the grip tape, and you can see I'm pushing it off of my actual skull and then deploying it above my head. I like this position because it's perfect for the hands up or surrendering position, but there's plenty of other places to keep these things. They're slim, they're light, and they're awesome. That's it. Peace.